Howdy and happy day! Today we're doing a Hot Wheels Redline Deora. It was the Hong Kong version, or it is the Hong Kong version, and it's the antifreeze color. I don't have antifreeze paint, so this is going to be a custom. There is a crack in the windshield, and this is the longest video I've ever done, so let me know what you think. And here we go. First of all, safety first. We're about to use the Dremel with the burr tool to get the rivets off. I don't want any of that stuff getting in my eyeballs. So I'm still a little bit torn on this method. I like it. I also dislike it. Only because I haven't perfected it and I keep nicking the base underneath. So, I don't know. However, on these flat rivets, it is a lot easier than a drill bit. Sorry. Anyway, it popped right off after we got it off. Or got the rivets off, I should say. Now we have the body pieces. Oh, there's a steering wheel. That was kind of a surprise. Didn't know that'd be just floating around. And squirrel. Now I'm distracted by that steering wheel. How does it go in? I think maybe like that. Seems reasonable. We're gonna go with it. And then the windscreen seems to be held on by a rivet there. I was thinking I'd have to drill that out, but I was just sort of lightly pressing on the windscreen and oh, it popped out. Happy day. You'll see my little happy dance here. Yay! No drilling. To the stripping. We got our lovely citrus strip as per usual. Used to be a lot more ceremonious about sparing this stuff, but now I just dump it on. I can't buy any aircraft strip paint remover, aircraft stripper, whatever it's called, until I use all of this, and I have a whole bottle of this, like 100 cars worth of this, so I'm just dumping it on, because next year I'm gonna buy the aircraft strip remover, paint remover, whatever it's called. Nothing new here, same old, same old. Put it on, let it sit, take it off. Though I have to say, look at that black top on the back there. Doesn't it look just scrumptious to wipe off? Yes, it does. All right, so once we have the paint off, we're just sort of looking at the body and assessing what to do next. It almost looked like it had a chrome finish on it that had been worn off. I don't know, it was really weird. So I wasn't sure what to do. I thought, well, I guess I'll do some 4/0 steel wool for a little bit and see what that does, if anything. And a tip from me to you, easier to hold the wool and move the car. So I think anyway. So we do that for a little while and decide that it's not enough because it's still awfully discolored and not looking the way I want it to. But because it's not working out, I decide, well, let's go ahead and drill the posts instead of saving it till the end. So here we are, we're drilling the posts. I've already done the divot on the top, which I kind of messed up on this post. You'll see I try to start it here, and it's just not, I have to try and re-divot it. So I do a little bit there. And I've just found on these Redline cars, for me, I just have to go really slow. And as I've done in the past, I'll angle it to center it as best I can, as best I can estimate, and then straighten it up and drill from there. I would drill out both posts. The back one was a lot easier for whatever reason. It was just warmed up or something. And here we are. I'm not tapping it because these redline screws are smaller than the tap I have. So I don't know. I thought, well, I'm going to take the chance and see if the posts will hold. And they did. I was relieved to say, or relieved to find anyway. I'm not actually this fast. This footage is sped up, if you didn't already assume that. And we're going to do the back one, or the front one. Nope, that's definitely the back one. This one is a back one and a center one, which is awfully weird. I don't know why they did that. So just testing it out and putting it back in. Cool. So that's done. That worked out like a champ. Love it when a plan comes through. So I electropolished it. My apologies. I did not have any footage of that. It takes literally like 20 seconds, so it just didn't happen. I did it before I realized. Anyway, there's no footage. Someday we'll have something like that. Anyway, so it came out okay. There's still so much whatever I don't know what it is. The car just looked weird. I've never seen a surface like this, so I decided I'm going to sand it with some 3000 grit sand. This is the Trizact sandpaper sponge stuff from 3M. I like it. It's expensive. So after we sanded it, it looked like this. So it was better, but I thought we're gonna zinc plate it. And so we zinc plate it, put it in for about 25, it might have been 30 minutes the first time. This is the first time. See, it looks all white and all zinkified. So after it's zinkified the first time, we go ahead and do what you do. You rub it with some 4/0 steel wool. There's a line on the back of the cab that I was worried about there. Not really worth pointing out. So I've never cut wheels off before. This is my first time. I was a little nervous. Had to dig around my house to find some snippy things that would do the job. I found some. And I was trying to get like the very center of the wheel here. I slipped and just got the edge and realized, oh, well, I just need to do the edge and it'll all come apart. So we snip it. Heard horror stories about taking those white bearings off. Anyway, so I get them all snipped off successfully. It was a very exciting moment for me. So that was fun. And we're also going to work on the windshield here just a little bit. There's just small little scratches. We're going to rub it with some 2500 grit sandpaper, wet sand it, excuse me. There you can see that there. And then we're going to use that 3000 grit Trizact sandpaper. I actually ended up just buffing it on the paper towel down there, and it came out fine. I didn't do anything else with it. You'll see it at the end there. So we electroplated, or excuse me, yeah, we electroplated it in zinc one more time. Again for 22 minutes. I think I left it in there a couple minutes longer than my timer went off. And now we're doing steel wool again. So that's towards the end. I'm going to continue working on it. You don't have to come along though. I think it's going to work out. You tell me at the end. Let me know what you think. And once we get it all scoured down with the wool, steel wool there. We've got rubbing compound we're gonna polish it up with, rubbish it up with, whatever. I'm using these little cotton bud things, accessories, bits, whatever. You'll see there at on the Dremel. I like them. They're a skosh cheaper than the other cotton ones I was using. I might continue using them, I might not. I've got a plethora of all of them right now. So here we're working on the base. I thought, well, I can just brush it with the steel wool, it'll be fine. We'll get back to that. Meanwhile, that footage was a lot shorter than I thought it was. So we are moving on to polishing the body of the car, the Deora. This is the Mother's Mag and Aluminum Polish. You know what a fan I am of it. This car had some real funny texture issues. I don't know, maybe it's normal. I'm simply a novice with very little information. Anyway, so it polished up great. Don't know where that footage went either. Boy, when it gets to be long like this, it slips through the fingers. Anyway, so we're painting it orange, and we've got the hardener and the Redline Shop orange there, already mixed up in the pot. This is our first coat, our little dusting, a little love dusting. I don't profess to be any kind of a professional at airbrushing, nor do I even consider myself a good amateur. So glean whatever mistakes you can from me. So I'm not sure I'll show you anything useful with the painting for sure. Anyway, so this is the second coat, medium. I have to keep telling myself this is not the final coat. I'm not trying to finish it here. I was really trying to get this paint job done the first time and not mess it up and do anything drastic, which I somewhat don't achieve. So this is our third and final coat, the wet coat. I say final coat of the orange, I should specify, because we are going to do the bed of the truck with the Magic Black from the Redline Shop. I love that stuff. Today not so much, but you'll see that. That's user error, not magic final black paint stuff error. So I'm putting it in the toaster oven for 20 minutes at like 175 degrees. It didn't bubble up. Nothing catastrophic happened with the paint. I was just so thankful. Yay! Hooray! A win! And so I taped it up. Again, I am no professional taper. I just tape until all the places I want are covered. The places I don't want are not covered. There's probably a method out there that's better than what I do. I have yet to learn it. So here I'm playing with the Magic Black. And I taped off the front there so I could get the grill because it was black also. And then, for whatever reason, this happens. What have I done? Oh, Lord, what have I done? So I think to myself, maybe it'll be all right if I don't touch it. I'm just going to take the paint or the tape off and stick it in the toaster oven and see what happens. And hope that I don't have to repaint it again. Because I don't know if you noticed on that Magic Black, it was almost like coming out like a wet coat because I was spraying it too closely. Which makes me very sad. You can still see it there. Ah! All I'm thinking right now is please, please dry, please dry, please dry flat. So I get the paint off, I stick it in the oven. I realized that it doesn't dry flat, so I wet sanded it just a smidge and then I repainted it. The base actually did go into the electropolishing. I did polish it with Mother's Again. So it was my first time taking wheels off. This is my first time putting wheels on. Totally excited about it. It's easy. Look at that. Got these from the Redline shop also. They're not a sponsor. Certainly not. Who would sponsor me? Little on me. But it was lots of fun. Also, as I'm doing this, I realize that one of the functions of that tool is to push the bearing into the wheel all the way. So I think, what can I use to do that? And this is what I did. I got a paper clip, one of the big ones, and I bent one side over and pinched it down with some pliers. Stick that onto the wheel as you would that wheel tool that they sell. And just push in, and voila, it does the same job. But look at that, I didn't have to pay anything for it, and it was right at my desk already. So, take it or leave it. Maybe you could use that. Maybe it's nothing useful. I found it useful. Anyway, so we're going to put it all together. We're going to go back to the beginning, remind ourselves what we had, and what we have now after it's all together. So the back is not entirely perfect, but good enough for my needs. I was happy with it. And I forgot to put the surfboards on it. I have surfboards from a beach bomb I was going to sort of put in for the picture, but whatever. You're just going to have to imagine them. Anyway, so I'm real happy how it turned out. Thanks for coming along on this long journey. Cheers.